Hello. So, when it comes to critical thinking, we often think that is used for group work. Um, so, one person will elaborate their ideas or thoughts, and then their group members can either agree or disagree, and they explain why. And then, um, which then creates advanced discussions and debates, and which then makes group members eventually change their opinions or ideas to agree with someone else's because it becomes a greater idea, which is all great. But what about individuals for critical thinking? What about sole proprietors in particular? Um, how do sole proprietors think about critical thinking when it comes to making difficult decisions for their business success? How do they know they're making the right decision based on their thinking? So in this presentation, we're going to discuss how effective critical thinking is for sole proprietors and how useful it can be. So I want to present to you Anne Witte. She is the owner and the founder of Annie's Homegrown. It's a company founded in 1989, and she makes and sells organic pasta, meals, and snacks. So you might recognize her products in grocery stores, and particularly in the organic or gluten-free sections. When I researched Annie, I consider her a really laid-back CEO compared to the other classic CEOs. We would think of CEOs as someone who cares about profits, plans, forecasts, growth, and coming into the office every day, managing their teams. But Annie, on the other hand, is different. She is very laid back, and I say this because she doesn't care about profits or coming into the office. It's more, she cares about the environment and making sure she can sell organic foods to her consumers. And she prefers to market and create her own products rather than managing her own than others. So that's just a great way for her to manage her own business by herself, which is fine. And her company grew tremendously before the 2000s, and she came across a few problems when she was making those decisions. So prior to the tremendous growth that Annie had to face with, she also faced with several problems. One problem was that she knew she needed to market her products, and she needed to know how she would do that successfully. So what she ended up doing is that she knew her products were organic, but she wanted her customers to know that they are organic. And she would do that by placing the organic label on her products and packages. And she would also add another message indicating that there are no additions of processed foods or chemicals or colors or dye. So she wants her customers to know that all of her products are organic and natural and whole foods. And she wants her customers to know that her products are organic and a healthier option compared to her competitors. So she added different flavors for her mac and cheese. So there's Alfredo and whole wheat. She also includes a personal message in her products, just indicating how passionate she is when it comes to the environment and the farms of how her foods are created. So in the end of how she markets her foods, her stakeholders believe that she's selling ethics, which is a great opinion, because in today's business world, ethics are really important to understand and analyze. So on to another problem that she had to face with the tremendous growth for her company, was how to handle all of that growth. And she knew the demand was really high, and she knew that her company had to expand. So she made her customers become shareholders. And she did this by inserting direct public offerings inside her packages. So the consumers will open her packages, the boxes of foods, and they will see that offering. So it made the idea that she is selling out Annie's homegrown rather than buying in. So it actually turned out pretty successful because she received over $3 million worth of investments from those potential investors. So that turned out to be really successful. So in the end, out of those two problems that she faced prior to that tremendous growth, I think it's safe to say that she used her critical thinking skills when facing these decisions on her own. And I really thought it was really unique that she tucked in those direct public offerings in her products. That was really unique of someone to open their package and they would see that, notice, and they believe that they can invest in her company because she has a great mission and values. So overall, it is possible for sole proprietors and individuals to use critical thinking skills when it comes to making really important decisions that can impact their business success and reputation. So to conclude this presentation, I will give out some basic tips or tactics that anyone can use to help them think critically when it comes to making decisions. First would be identify your assumptions. So what you think you know when a problem occurs or when a goal comes up. And then you want to challenge your assumptions. So you want to, seek evidence, gather your data and vital information. And you can challenge your assumptions by asking questions. So that will help a lot. You also need to understand your bias. So for Annie example, she cares about the environment, the organics, and providing natural foods for her consumers. That's all her bias. And then the following would be think steps ahead. So with Annie, she when it came to marketing her products, she wants customers to know that her products are organic. So she had to think several steps ahead. She can do this by putting a label that it's organic and look at the ingredients because it's all natural. And then finally, to have the ability to think clearly and rationally about what to do or what to believe in. That concludes the presentation on critical thinking for sole proprietors. Thank you very much.